Initiating landing sequence.
Howdy and hello and welcome back to Mike's Game Domain. This is Mike, and again we're playing Planetary Annihilation Titans. This is the second to last game for one of our factions. We've already eliminated the blue faction, and we're now going to be taking out the orange faction. It's early in the morning, so I'm a little tired, but it'll be okay. So today we're going to be featuring one of my favorite bots, the Boom. Yes, these little spiders are amazing. So, as I talked about before with the Boom, they're effectively a bullet. I don't really think of them as a unit. Even an army of them is just a bullet, a shotgun blast. Yeah, they're little spiders. They look really cool. They move really quickly. They're the fastest. They're the fastest bot in the tier 1. In the tier 1 thing. They're not amazing to scout with, and the reason is it's hard to see, but their vision circle is very, very small, so they cannot see hardly anything. So if you want to use them for scouting, it honestly just doesn't kind of work, so I don't recommend it. But what I'm going to do with these 3 factories is just simply tell them to patrol the world and continuously build booms. We're going to read the little dossier, the little factory explanation in just a moment. Let me just get some basics underway. Okay, so I'm going to also reserve a little bit of them for Alright, so here we have the Boom. The Boom bot is a self-destructs to deal with very heavy damage over an area extremely fast. So yes, they are jihad jeeps, essentially. They're self-destructors. They have terrible vision. They're not good at scouting. And what you can do, which again, in a real game doesn't seem to work all that great, but in a silly game like this it does, is just populate the whole world with booms roaming and patrolling. And basically anywhere the enemy travels, they have a chance of running into one and getting blown up. Now, each boom can kill an enemy fabricator unit in one go. So it is, I don't want to call it effective, but it is possible to prevent enemy expansion this way. Oh, it looks like one of them blew up. Alright, here's the enemy base. As you can see, as soon as they get it in their vision, they do target it. Now this guy walked right through the enemy base and didn't attack, and it's because he did not get close enough. So it's much, much better to actually give them a directive, an actual target, than this. But, oh, they're super close. Wow, this is going to be way easy. Alright, well, cool. Well, that's too bad, because I like these little guys, but it's okay. We've seen this kind of strat before. It's not the most interesting thing ever. Alright, so we have our patrollers done now because we found the enemy base. That was the point of the patrollers, was just simply to find the enemy base. I'm going to tuck my army away here in this little rock formation, the mountains, and that way it'll be a little bit harder for them to find. Booms are extremely vulnerable to air units, particularly bombers, carpet bombers, T1 bombers. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the T1 bombers can just murderize these guys. Now, of course, with the Boom, you have the option of doing the same sort of formation groupings that we talked about. The standard one is a box, and you can converge them into a tighter little blob. Does it make a difference? Yeah, kinda. You'll see people use, especially with really large armies, you'll see them use the blob method to sort of maximize the effectiveness of these guys, because since they die so quickly, you have to get as many as you possibly can on target really, really quickly, because they're not durable units. So now what's curious is, there you are. Somewhere over here. Okay. I was gonna say, what's curious is I destroyed the whole base and I haven't found the commander, so. But that was why. He was traveling. Come Come on. Now you see how they cannot see a darn thing, so they're really, really tough to pin down. They're not effective in the method that I just deployed, which is having them come one or two at a time. But in a long daisy chain here, in a big cluster group, they're extremely effective at targeting a commander or a high priority unit. So that's what I use them for. They're basically for unit sniping. You build up a cluster of them, you kind of put them on standby, you try to hide them somewhere where bombers won't see them, or maybe hide them in a group of AA, and when you have an enemy that you absolutely need to kill now, such as probably a Titan, a commander, maybe something like an anti-nuke platform or a nuke platform, if you want to blow up an umbrella for orbital defense and then come in with an orbital strike, sending out a cluster of boom bots and then blowing up the umbrellas is certainly a good strategy. Stuff like that. When you just have to have pinpoint damage very quickly and very cheaply, then the boom is going to be probably the best way to get that done. They're not durable. They don't last. Obviously, they suicide, so they're not meant to last. But as far as strategy goes, I think they're one of the most interesting units available because they are just so precise in their method, and so you have to be very deliberate about how you use them. You wouldn't want to just spam them everywhere like I just did, or kind of have them randomly blow up enemy bases. It's not really what they're good for. Your resources are better spent on a more durable unit like a tank. But yeah, I would always keep a small cluster of booms on standby in case they send in something nasty and you just have to take it out. They're also good at punching holes in armies, so if you get overrun by a tank army and you have a cluster of booms on standby, you can pretty much demolish that whole army real quickly, especially tanks. So what are they good against? Anything that fires slowly is going to really suffer to the boom. What are they bad against? Things that fire quickly or have area of effect. So the Dox is decent against them because it has, a fast fire rate. Now I think in general booms will overthrow Dox hordes, but it's gonna be tough. I think that they struggle obviously mostly with air units, but things like the Spark are actually good as well because they have a pulse that has an area of effect. We're going to look at the Spark next, actually, in the next episode. But it will do a really good job at destroying multiple booms in one shot. And so that's kind of what you have to think about. The Uber Cannon is obviously really good. But with enough booms, you can overrun almost any unit in the game. So I love them. They're amazing. And that's the boom. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And we'll play again soon. Bye.